Here we are at the commemoration of the massacre at Tiananmen Square. We're going to have a candlelight vigil and a number of speakers.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things. I love that.
So can't wait to see who comes. Here's the wonderful Goddess of Freedom Memorial, a replica of the one from Tiananmen Square.
Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. My name is Karina Lipsman. I'm the Director of Government Relations at the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation. And we're here because tomorrow marks a solemn yet significant occasion as we gather to commemorate the 35th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre that started as a peaceful demand for democracy, freedom of expression, and to end corruption. When the Chinese government deployed military forces to suppress the voices of those advocating for change. The events of June 4th, 1989 remain etched in our collective memory as a stark reminder of the lengths of authoritarian regimes will go to silence dissidents. However, amidst the tragedy and suppression, the spirit of Tiananmen lives. On a symbol of courage, resilience, and unwavering pursuit of freedom. As we reflect on this solemn anniversary, let us honor the memory of those who lost their lives, the bravery of those who stood in defiance, and the enduring legacy of Tiananmen Square as a beacon of hope for a better, more just world. May we never forget the sacrifices made, and may we continue to strive for a future where the principles of democracy and human rights are upheld, cherished, and protected for generations to come. I would now like to invite Dr. Eric Patterson, President and CEO of the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation, to give his remarks.
Thank you, Karina. Well, honored guests, thank you for joining us here tonight. Charles Dickens once wrote, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." And 1989 seemed that way. 35 years ago, the Eastern European countries were throwing off communism. You may recall January 1989, first elections in the Soviet Union. And then over the next several months, Bulgaria, Romania, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Hungary, one by one, they threw off communism. They have free societies today. Those were good moments. But simultaneously, in the Far East, a similar movement was moving forward. An anti-corruption movement, calling Communist Party leaders to account. Students demanding transparency, truth in media. And of course, democracy and human rights. And sadly, that other movement was brutally crushed in Tiananmen Square 35 years ago. So tonight, we remember, but we remember with hope. We commemorate the victims. We don't know the number killed that day. We don't fully know the number in prison that day, so we remember their sacrifice. But we do it with a sense of hope and a renewed commitment to advocating for the freedom of all of China's people in the days ahead. Thank you very much. Let me introduce our close friend, Chen Guangcheng.
Our friend Chen Guangcheng is speaking now.
The Chinese Communist Party has never stopped using violence and cruelty to oppress the people of occupied China. After 1989, many people were exiled outside of China. For 35 years, they can only memorialize those lost in the June 4th massacre. They have no way to strike back. Meanwhile, in the 35 years after Tiananmen, the CCP had managed to use the West's high tech to create an internet surveillance system with facial recognition and movement recognition. It arbitrarily persecutes those who call for the rule of law, democracy, and constitutional government. At the same time, outside of China, the CCP had influenced international order. The free world must do away with its policies of appeasement towards the CCP. The priority must be ending communist authoritarian regime. The free world must stand with the Chinese people to hold the CCP accountable for its crimes. The CCP is not only destructive for the Chinese people, the CCP is humanity. To the entire world. Established nations continue to make agreements with the devil. Only will democracy in China be without hope. America and other democracies will find their freedoms and universal values destroyed as well.
Yep.
For those who recognize the evil at the heart of the CCP, do not wait to take action to eliminate this regime that is antithetical to humanity. At the 35th anniversary of the Tiananmen Massacre, we not only remember the victims, we also seek justice from the violent CCP regime. I call on everyone to work together to eliminate the CCP. Let's fight for a better and more beautiful future for us all. Thank you, everyone.
Amen.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to have Mr. Gordon Chang.
Thank you, Karina, and thank you for all for coming at this solemn night. Why are we here to commemorate an event so long ago? Well, because communism is against freedom, communism is against humanity, communism is against life. And China's communism, as Chen Guangcheng just told us, is evil.
Mm-hmm.
And the evil of that night, 35 years ago, haunts the world. It haunts the survivors of June 4th, and it haunts us. And it haunts us because the Communist Party of China, the CCP, will not leave us in peace. It will not leave us in peace because it believes we are an existential threat to it.
Mm-hmm.
An insecure regime in Beijing is worried about the inspirational impact
of our values and our form of governance on the CCP, on the Chinese people. And this means, this is not anything about what we say or do. This is because of the way the regime uses. That means coexistence is not possible. Coexistence is not possible because the CCP believes that there will be only one survivor. It will either be our free society or it will be the People's Republic of China. And that means we are going to have to continue to fight for our freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to fight for everyone, including those 35 years ago, those brave Chinese citizens in Beijing and 370 other Chinese cities that stood up for their rights. We must never forget. But we are fighting more than just for ourselves or for the survivors of June 4th. Remember, this is a fight between freedom and oppression, a fight between democracy and tyranny, a fight between good and evil.
Amen.
Chinese people cannot speak for themselves. So we must speak for them, and we will speak for them. We will speak for them, and we will speak for everyone around the world who is not permitted to speak. So, fight for life. Fight for freedom. Fight for freedom. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you so much. And now I'd like to invite Mr. Branson. Hi, my name is Francis Hui. It's an honor to speak in front of you and to stand side by side with you all to mark this important date in history. In Hong Kong, different generations grew up having different experience with the Tiananmen Square massacre. For some people, they saw it when it happened, they lived to see it when it happened. And as you can tell, I was from a generation that was not born at that time. But growing up, it's not difficult for us to learn what's going on, what happened in 1989. Obviously, there was the Tiananmen Square massacre annual vigil in Victoria Park every year. And we can learn about it from a lot of news sources from our textbooks in Chinese history class. And for me, my first encounter was when I was 10, the 20th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre. I saw that on TV and I was curious, so I went online and tried to find out. And as a 10-year-old, I was terrified. I went to the Victoria Park that year, and for that year, I finally realized and understood what it means to be a Hong Konger. The privilege I have to be born as a Hong Konger, to enjoy the rights and freedom that many of those who live a river across me do not get to enjoy, and they're killed for having those rights, to practice those rights. In middle school, we learned about it in Chinese history class. It's part of the modern Chinese history. But in the textbook, there's only a small little box with 2 paragraphs that describe it. I thought it was ridiculous. But I also thought for some people, some of my peers who have never heard of it, this kind of seeds them. And perhaps one day they'll be curious to find out more, just like what happened to me when I was 10. It has always been these little clues that helped our generation understood what happened in that summer in 1989 in China. And today I know for a fact that that little portion on the Chinese history textbook is one. It's illuminated. All these years, the CCP has been tackling these small clues in a way to illuminate and erase its history from its people and the people of Hong Kong. They first came at the smaller clues and then onto the big symbolic thing. They want us to forget it. They want to take away the chance for our children to know that decades ago, Chinese students used to dream of an open, democratic China. I think this is why we kept marking this date in the past 35 years with everything we could do. And this is why people like Chang Hong Kong insist in doing whatever she can to remind people of this day, even though it means she will get arrested again under the city's harshest law, even though she is already
we will find something else, we will do something else in somewhere. Because they could lock people behind bars, but they can't lock away our determination and our free will. And when people are continue to resisting in Hong Kong, betting on their life behind bars to speak the truth, they are counting on us, the free will, to wake up and make China pay for the cost of violating human rights. The world in action enables and emboldens China to continue its blatant lies and full crackdown on dissidents. Let us ask ourselves today, did we do enough to hold the CCP accountable for killing thousands of Chinese people for demonstrating peacefully for freedom and democracy 35 years ago? When we first heard about the so-called re-education camps on Uyghurs, when we know about the government that continues to face systemic oppression even to this day, did we do enough when the CCP blatantly broke its promise that it made in the face of the international community of one country, two systems in Hong Kong, stifling freedom that we used to enjoy, and putting literally thousands of pro-democracy ordinary Hong Kongers behind bars? Today and tomorrow, we should all ask ourselves, are we doing enough? And especially for key leaders and policymakers, how long is it going to take? And how many more people have to be imprisoned, tortured, and killed for us to do the right thing? In some way, the terrorists and its campaign for global of freedom around the world. It is a massacre of humanity. So, as we remember 35 years ago, the souls and bravery people that we lost 35 years ago in China, let's also remember countless people who continue to suffer under CCP's rule. Advocate for them, support them in their fight for freedom, and give them the voice, a voice that the CCP tries to eliminate. Thank you.
Thank you, Karina. Good evening. You are the executive director of the Tiananmen Memorial Museum in New York City. I actually wanted to know more about our new museum. This museum was founded last year based on the work we did in collaboration with the Communism Memorial Foundation here in DC. We had a facility that generous was a clearly in the Patterson location. The museum displays a large collection of artifacts from 1989 flags, pamphlets, old newspapers, and a body shirt worn by a woman killed by the police, and the bloody banner used by the teacher to find a bullet wound in Tiananmen Square. The museum received very good reviews and very extensive media coverage. The only problem is our fundraising is lacking. As of now, all of us work as unpaid volunteers. Now, the honor to work in the museum, but we believe this all volunteer model is not sustainable. Anyone who believes a potential benefactor, please let us know, and we will receive proceeds. Now, why do we want to have the museum? First of all, of course, we want to remember the victims of the massacre in China. Secondly, just like the statue behind me, we want to use the museum to honor the Chinese people's heroic struggle for democracy 35 years ago. That is a struggle goes back